All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, excited to be talking to an individual who is set to compete at Oktagon 38, which goes down on December the 30th. An intriguing middleweight fight going on with Joel dos Santos and Matěj Peňáz getting out there and testing skills, and happy to be welcoming Matěj on to the show today, and excited to talk about a few things related to this fight. How's your day going so far, man?
Like, the preparation is going well. I think everything is good, and I'm prepared for the fight. Like, for the Joel, I think he's like really good opponent, and I hope I will show my skill, and I will show good match and take the win.
Yeah, and a good way to close out the year too, just in the sense of like the momentum and stuff like that, just because your last outing being the first loss in the pro MMA endeavors. Like, is it, an excitable thing for you to get this opportunity to close out the year and kind of get back in the win column?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I was thinking that I will not compete this year more, but when I get the chance to have fight, so I think it's important for me to end the year with the better match and with the win, I hope.
Yeah, for sure, and obviously not dwelling on that last one too much, but I mean, I think that's always like talked about in like combat sports circles as kind of like a big learning moment in one's career, like just coming off the Dana White Contender Series there, and it seemed like it came as like a shock to a lot of people that the outcome didn't go your way there. Like, what kind of lessons do you learn from a moment like that? Like, is it something that'll ultimately benefit your career long term from here on out?
Yeah. I hope that I will benefit from it. Like, it was a mistake in the fight. Like, I was a little bit too much calm, and I don't get in the fight. Like, it was super fast, and I think I was so much form before fight, and I don't get enough like adrenaline and enough energy to the fight, to the start of the fight, and and it was super fast. So but I think in the like it's good for my future, I hope, and I will benefit from that. But I know that I must be ready from the first second of the fight. I must be ready for everything, and be more hyped before fight a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe something you've already learned just from your experiences in other sports. Like, you're obviously very decorated in Muay Thai and everything like that. So maybe you already had learned those lessons from like fighting in that sport, because obviously like the amount of bouts that Muay Thai fighters have compared to, I mean, really most other combat sports. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of those learning experiences to be had. Like, did you feel like that was something that also helped benefit you in that kind of sense too?
Yeah, I think so. I get every loss. Every loss is I feel horrible after, but in the long term, it always helped me, and I believe it will be the same. Like, it will help my career, and it will help my grow, and I believe I will get the chance again, or I will get the contract like straight to the UFC in the future. I believe that.
Yeah, for sure. And you have such a history with Oktagon, just like all of your pro MMA bouts being under that banner there. Like, what's the nature of your deal right now with Oktagon? Like, you're talking about maybe getting a run going where you can get to the UFC thereafter, but like, how many, I guess, bouts are you signed for with Oktagon? Is this like a one fight deal, or maybe like a few even?
No, I had with Oktagon deal for 6 fights, and now I have like last 2, so 2 more fights in the Oktagon, and we will see. Like, maybe I will stay in the Oktagon. I like the promotion. like in the Czech and Slovakia, and completely in the Europe, it's starting to be really big. And it's also a lot of good fighters here. So I think I can for sure stay in the Octagon. But yeah, I want to compete with the best guys in the MMA, and I think the absolutely top guys are in the UFC. But maybe I need a little bit more time, and I need more experiences, and I will take it here in the Octagon, and yeah. So we will see. But 2 more fights I will have for sure in the Octagon.
Yeah, and it has been great to see that growth with Oktagon, because I feel like they very much are drumming up more attention, as you were talking about there. But something that I've also found interesting in like a growth kind of sense is just like how many talents seem to be coming out of the, Czech Republic and everything like that as of late. Is that something that you yourself have noticed? And I mean, obviously you're, very motivated in your own efforts, but does it add a little something extra to it, knowing that like a lot of people like in the Czech Republic would be kind of following your career, cheering for you, etc.?
Like for sure. Like I think the Octagon is the most organization in the Czech and Slovakia. Like the people here, they know more Octagon than the UFC and then the other organizations. So for me, like for the time from Czech, so for me is the perfect like the promotions here and for the sponsors and for the stuff like that. It's absolutely perfect, and the Octagon it's growing so fast that now it's also in the Germany, and next year it will be bigger and bigger. So yeah, like I'm excited about that also.
Yeah, for sure. I love to hear that for sure. And you get to train with some very, excellent fighters as well, from what I've been able to tell. Like I was seeing at least like prior to, his camp with Dominic Reyes, you were training a fair bit with Jiri Prochazka. Like obviously like relatively recently he had a pretty serious injury. Is that someone you've still been able to like work with prior to that though, or is that mostly in the Reyes camp there, as I mentioned?
Oh, I trained with Jiri like before because I changed the gym. But before, like we trained together, I think 6 years, and yeah, I helped him in the preparation for the Dominic race, because I'm also so the same size like Dominic, so it's always perfect for me, and I always love it to work with Jiri, because like Jiri is a really good guy and big motivation, I think, for all the fighters from the Czech. And so yeah, but now I'm more in the Sweden, more in the Stockholm, so I work in the All Stars gym and also in the Prague in the Rangers gym in the Czech Republic, so I am not so often in contact with Jiri.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Great space to be in, though. Like, I saw a recent picture, or at least relatively recent, like, I think it was, like, a few months ago, where you were working with, like, Volkan Ozdemir and stuff like that, and it seems like guys like Alexander Gustafsson and whatnot have, like, worked in some of those spaces, too. So, yeah, a lot of, like, similar body types and obviously, like, high-level fighters.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in the All-Stars, it's also a lot of good guys now. It's Volkan all the time there, and also comes out Gustafsson, and sometimes and there is like perfect that always is some guys for the camp in the All Stars. Like it's a lot of people going around, and so it's always somebody new. So it's good for the sparring sessions and for the new contacts.
Yeah, for sure. And I mentioned before, like, the depth of experience you had in, like, Muay Thai and kickboxing and stuff like that. Like, when did MMA kind of get on the radar as something you would want to do? Was it always something you thought you would eventually try, or was there a certain moment where you felt your interest going more from, like, the Muay Thai and kickboxing to, oh, yeah, I'd like to try out some mixed martial arts?
Yeah, like, I was thinking about it, like, a long time ago, like, when I was 16 or something like that. But yeah, I decided to continue just with the kickboxing and Thai boxing. And but like it was with COVID, everything was closed, and I cannot compete in the kickboxing in the glory kickboxing. So we had in the Oktagon we had event, and it was underground. It was named, and it was something between kickboxing and MMA. We had like small gloves, and we can do takedowns, but we cannot continue on the ground game. So, and I won the event in the Czech. So when and maybe it motivates me to work more on the ground game, on jiu-jitsu, on my wrestling, and I decided to continue with the MMA. That I really like it, and yeah, I fall in love with the MMA, with the complete fight. Like you can do really everything, and I love it.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to hear you're enjoying learning like those aspects of the game as well. But just kind of in talking about this next fight here, like I was seeing that there's a bit of a not a mutual opponent per se, but like some crossover kind of dynamics with like your opponent having previously beaten Vlasto Seppo, and seems like someone you've had certain brushings with before. Like, do you see like Seppo as someone that you'd be fighting next year? It seems like there's talk about like there being like a huge fight that you guys could potentially have next year. Like, do you not overlooking this next fight, obviously, but do you see that as something that could potentially happen in 2023?
Yeah, I think it will happen in 2023. Like we already discussed it with the Oktagon MMA, and I think it will be like my next fight. It will be with Chepo. His name is Vlasto Chepo. So yeah, I think so. But like we don't have any contract or anything like that. But I think so that it will be my next fight. But now I clearly concentrate on the fight like 30th of December. So it's the most important thing for me now.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. And to that point, are you someone that like generally does like a fair bit of tape study on your opponents, or are you more focusing on your individual growth so you can be like fluid with whatever happens during the fight?
Like both. I always looked on my opponents, and my team always looked on my opponent. They told me what is like his best moves and best strikes, and what he is doing like in the wrestling and stuff like that. But I more concentrate on myself, like on my game and what I want to do and what I am good in. So yeah, I concentrate more on me than on what is my opponent doing.
Yeah, it seems like a good opponent at this juncture in your career, though, just being that he has close to like 25 MMA fights and seems like pretty well traveled on the Brazilian circuit, but also has like some experience through like Russia and things like that from what I'm seeing there. So do you kind of see that as well? Like, does this seem like a good next opponent in your career, facing like someone who's got like, at least in the sense of MMA specific, like that kind of experience advantage?
Yeah, exactly. I think he's like he has a lot of experience with MMA, and I think he will want to wrestle me, and I am prepared for that. And yeah, I think it's like for sure. Like he has a lot of fights, but I think it's not so big problem for me because I have a lot of experience from the kickboxing and Thai boxing, and so I think it's not so bad, so big difference between us.
Yeah, I can get what you're saying there. I'm kind of interested in the nickname, though, and everything like that. Just your nickname being Money and everything like that, and kind of curious on the backstory, too. It seems like there's a bit of a Prochazka backstory to it, too. Can you kind of talk about that a bit?
Yeah, for sure. Like Money, because my surname, Peñáz, it's in the Slovakia. It means money. So we were on the fight in Slovakia with Jiri Prochazka, and he started to call me like money, and yeah, it stayed with me to now. Like because the meaning Peñáz it means money.
So is it kind of like a nickname where it's like you're kind of like showing your family history and the pride in that? Is there an element of it being playful and fun? Like, what do you think about the nickname in that sense? Like, what does it mean to you, I suppose?
For me, it's yeah, like it's. I don't know what it means for me. Like, I don't think that anything extra special, but like I take it that it's like my name, and I'm trying to represent my name in the best way. So yeah, like that.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like part of how you represent that is staying pretty active from what I can tell. Like, obviously, like, I was talking about Muay Thai before and how active a lot of, like, Muay Thai practitioners are, but I saw you had, like, 4 fights in your initial year in MMA, and not overlooking this next fight, obviously, but in an ideal world, like, is there a certain amount of fights you would like to get next year total?
Yeah, I was thinking, I think it will be like 3-4 fights. I hope so. I hope so that I will not have any injury and everything will go well. So I hope three for sure, maybe 4. We will see. Like the 4 fights, it's a lot, but it's not big problem for me because like I don't have big troubles with the weight cut. So maybe 4 we will see. But yeah, 4 fights. 3-4 fights, we will see.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully all that can work out for you and everything like that. But yeah, really excited for this next one here, and a good one to kind of close out the year. I feel like it's a fun time for, all the events and stuff like that. I mean, we're getting kind of closer to that like Ryzen New Year's show, and cool to see that Oktagon is doing a show as well. So yeah, definitely awesome to get some time from you ahead of this big fight here. But I do want to be mindful of the rest of your schedule too and stuff like that, man. So is there anything you might want to kind of like add as a parting thought as we're wrapping up here?
I don't know. I don't think so. Like I think we spoke about everything. Or if you have some more questions, but I think I said everything what I want.
Yeah, well, glad we could cover all the bases there, and I appreciate you giving insights ahead of what looks to be an exciting fight against Joel dos Santos, and people can check that out when it goes down on December the 30th there, and yeah, should be a good card with Octagon 38, and to reiterate, I appreciate you coming on the show and giving some insights, man, and you enjoy the rest of your day, and looking forward to checking out the fight when it goes down too.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you.